Republican presidential candidate Rand Paul. Kentucky senator pushing to defund Planned Parenthood even after Senate lawmakers failed to pass the measure yesterday. Senator Paul's an ophthalmologist. Wrote a book called Taking a Stand, Moving Beyond Partisan Politics, Unite America. A bit earlier today, I talked to Senator Paul about the vote on Planned Parenthood and more. Watch. Senator Rand Paul, thank you for your time this morning and welcome back to America's Newsroom. Now you go to a backup plan. What is it?
Well, I've always voted to defund Planned Parenthood and will continue to do so. I think the power of the purse is something we should use. In fact, that's a congressional prerogative, and the problem is we haven't really tried hard enough. So I'll keep pressing on. We'll try to attach it to appropriation bills. The thing is that it is the responsibility. It's not unusual for Congress to give rules to the president on how to spend money. That's what we're supposed to do.
Would you shut down the government over this if it comes to that come the fall?
Well, I think that's a matter of perspective. I don't want to shut down the government, but I do want to give instructions to the president on how to spend money, not just on Planned Parenthood, but on 1,000 different items. I don't want to fund still Obamacare. I still don't want to fund all the massive regulations that he's putting forward. So really the choice is the president willing to shut down government? But there's a lot of other complicated factors. We have to decide, can we get anything out of the Senate? To get anything out of the Senate requires 6 Democrats to vote for it. So far, the Democrats are stonewalling every appropriation bill. It looks as if the Democrats want a showdown, and they may well want a shutdown. But they always play it to their advantage. They say, oh, the Republicans did it. And my point is, I don't want to shut down. I think it would be the Democrats shutting down government if they're unwilling to accept a Republican majority's instructions on how to spend the money.
Let's talk about the vote yesterday. A few Democrats voted with you. Mark Kirk, Republican out of Illinois, did not. Did you expect that?
Well, you know, I think there's always been a few Republicans who don't side with us on this issue. I do think, though, that it's a bigger issue than just abortion. This is about taxpayer funding of a gruesome procedure, not just any old abortion, but an abortion of a fully formed baby where the baby's being manipulated and turned around to harvest the baby's organs. I think it's particularly horrific, and I really think everybody should have voted against funding for this, and I'll continue to fight against this funding. There's no reason in the world we have to fund Planned Parenthood at all. Everything they do is already done by another government agency, community health centers. We have 9,000 community health centers. There's no reason for 1 penny ever to go to Planned Parenthood.
Harry Reid was talking about the Republican absurd policies.
Well, they're not really listening. Planned Parenthood is this huge lobby. It gives millions of dollars to Democrats. It uses millions of dollars to fight against Republicans. They're not objective, and they're not telling you the truth. The truth is women's health is taken care of by community health centers by $5 billion. We've doubled the amount of money we put into women's health care through government. And so, you know, it's just an absurd argument to say that we need Planned Parenthood. It's only about abortion.
Yeah, your idea, just to be clear, is to continue the money, but just do it through different health centers. Is that accurate, that do not perform abortions, correct?
Right. And the money already goes to the community health centers. We've been giving billions. We give, I think, about $5 billion to community health centers. That would continue. And there are plenty avenues and areas for people to go for women's health care. Most of the stuff Planned Parenthood says they do, they really don't do anyway. They end up referring you to a real doctor, or they refer you to a community health center. Mammograms aren't really done there. Exams are self-exams. If you want a doctor's exam, you go to a doctor. So really, Planned Parenthood's about abortion, and now we find out it's about the grisly sale of babies' organs. So I think the public's with us on this. There's some debate over various stages of abortion, and there are some pro-choice people out there, but when it gets to fully formed babies and their organs, 2/3 or more of the American public thinks that this is grisly and shouldn't be supported by the taxpayer.
Hillary Clinton has come out, already cut a spot too as well, talking about women's rights, and that's going to be a debate as we go forward. We will see you in Cleveland, Ohio, and we've been asking viewers on Facebook to file questions for the candidates. Here is one out of Arkansas. Carl writes, what will you do to protect religious liberty in America? If you get that question, what do you say, Senator?
You know, the Hobby Lobby was a great case of this, and I think Hobby Lobby was a big victory. And I think that victory ought to be spread across the business sphere to say that government shouldn't be involved with business, and if someone morally objects to something, they shouldn't be forced to provide insurance for it. So I'm a big defender of the Hobby Lobby decision and a big defender of the business's right to be left alone.
Senator, thank you for your time. Rand Paul out of Washington, D.C. today. Thank you again, sir.